Hi everybody, this is Boogess Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Neca NYCC exclusive Batman vs. Joker Alien 2-pack. So before we take a look at the Joker Alien, we'll take a look at Batman and his couple accessories. Oh, and before I start this review, I want to say that this was originally a New York Comic Con exclusive. Now it's hitting Walmart stores, which I'm very thankful for because I missed out on it the first time when it was a New York Comic Con exclusive. So now that it's available at Walmart, I was able to pick up this amazing pack. So, before we take a look at Batman, we'll take a look at the only two things that he comes with. His Batarang. And it looks really good. It's done in a gunmetal and silver collar. And you can see there's just a little bit of extra plastic there on the bottom. Might be able to scrape that off. No, guess not. But, anyways, you get this really awesome looking Batarang. And it's very thin, so I feel like it would snap really easily if you put too much force into it. And he does come with an alternate hand that can hold it. And I just get it wedged in kind of like this. And that's the way I leave it, because any further and you might break the bat off right there. You might break the head of the bat off. The head of the Batarang, I should say. You might break that off, or you might just snap it in half. You know, I don't want to ruin it, so I just keep it in his hand like that. So, switching this out is a little bit of a task. It's kind of difficult to do. Okay, so now I have the plain fisted hand off there, and as you can see, there is some plastic shaving off on my finger right there. So, when you're switching these out, you will get a little bit of plastic and paint chipping. So that's why I'd recommend just leaving one hand or the other on him. Wouldn't recommend switching them out a whole lot, because you could also break the hand too. So there, now it's snapped in there. And like I said, I'd just leave it like that. That way you don't break the figure. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the head sculpt. So Neca did a really good job on this head sculpt. The paint apps on mine are a little wavy. They're not the best. But still, it's not bad. It's sculpted really, really nicely. Neca did a great job on that. And the color on it is also pretty good. You get the skin tone, and then you get a little bit of variation there for his mouth right there. And you get the black surrounding the eyes. I really like how that came out. It just looks really good. You also get a slight texturing to the head. It's really hard to pick up, but it's there. It's very, very slight. You also get it to his neck right here. And he has a fabric cape. And I love it anytime a company makes a figure have a fabric cape. I think it just looks so much better than plastic. And it's a really nice weighted material. I think it's kind of like a spandexy type material. It's stretchy. But it's also kind of heavy too, so it drapes really nicely on Batman. If you have him standing, it'll lay really nicely behind him. Or if you take the time and pose a little better, like I did in the beginning of the video, you can have it kind of draped around his shoulders. You will get it kind of bunching up right there. You will have that little bunch right there. But you can drape it around his shoulders like that. And it stays. It looks really nice. So yeah, I really love this fabric cape. I wish more companies would do that. But looking at the body, the Bat logo came out very clean. It looks very nice. And the body is really nice as well. You've got a lot of nice muscles sculpted in there. And it looks, I don't know if it's painted or airbrushed or whatever, but you get some paint variation, some dark gray in between all of his muscles. So it brings out all of those details really, really nicely. It looks very nice. Like I said, you get a ton of shading around the muscles there. And it looks very good. So yeah, I'm a fan of that. And the gloves are actually sculpted on. They're not just painted on. When I first got this, I thought they were painted on. But nope, they're sculpted and painted on. So that looks very good. You can see a vein right there in his hand. That's some really nice attention to detail where you can see the vein right there on the top of his hand. You get the yellow belt, that dark yellow belt with some gold on it. And the gold came out pretty clean. I have seen some with some spotty paint apps on these. But I think mine came out looking pretty nice. And this is one piece here, the belt and the trunks right here. And the trunks have a little bit of texturing to them. The body does too, but it is very faint. But you can really tell with my lighting there, you can see the texturing on it. My only real complaint is I do get a little bit of gappage right here on the left hip. As you can see, the pin is showing, and on the right side it's not. Even if you put it this way, you still can't hide it. The only way you can hide it is if you bend it in like that, and then you're going to have a crooked left leg. So yeah, that doesn't look very good. It doesn't really bother me. I think it's odd that it's showing, though. And as you can see, they did paint over top of the pin, even though the pin, the paint on it's chipping just a little bit. So that's really my only complaint, is you get a little bit of paint chipping right there, and it is a little gappy. But, you know, that's not a huge complaint. And then you get sculpted boots down here, which does have a swivel in it, which is really nice. This figure is just really well articulated. So is the alien, which I will get to in just a second. So now, let's go ahead and go over the articulation of this Batman figure. He has a ball-jointed head that can just about look up all the way. He can look down all the way. He can move his head side to side. And you can tilt all the way. He just has some really nice range of motion there in his head. He has ball-jointed shoulders that can move all the way out. He has swivel at the bicep. It is a little, it makes that noise when you turn it, but you can't move it side to side. He has double-jointed elbows that can bend in all the way. He has a swivel thoracic move side to side and up and down a good bit. Now, here is my only complaint with the articulation. The ab crunch here can only move back slightly, and when you do, you get that hole right there, and it can crunch, forward there. But it feels like you're going to break it when you do that, so definitely don't do that. Or at least, on mine, I don't feel like it's very safe to do that, because it is very stiff, and I feel like if I do that very much, I'm going to break it. I definitely do not want to break this. He has swivel at the waist. He has ball-jointed hips that can do a complete split. He can kick forward all the way. He can kick back all the way. And whenever you move one leg, the other wants to move, so I am having to hold that down. But he does have some really good articulation there. If you can get this leg to stay, or vice versa, whenever you're moving one leg, the other wants to move. He has double-jointed knee. He has swivel to boot that can move side to side. He has swivel at the ankle that can move up all the way, down all the way. He has an ankle rocker, and he even has toe articulation that can move up all the way. So yeah, this Batman figure has some nice articulation, and I think this is my new favorite Batman figure in my collection. It is just really well done. But yeah, the sculpt, the collaring, and the cape is all really nice. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the Joker Xenomorph. So the Joker Xenomorph does not come with any accessories, so we will go ahead and look straight at the head sculpt. So the head sculpt looks very nice. You get some silver painted for the teeth. You get some blood. I'm assuming that's blood because it wouldn't be, you know, Joker paint. It wouldn't be lipstick or anything, so I'm pretty sure that's blood. But the blood right there making it look like a Joker smile looks very nice. And on the top of the head right here, the dome, I guess you'd call it, it's done in a translucent green plastic. And it looks so nice. It also has some really dark green shading to the outside of it. And you can see through a little bit where you can see the Xenomorph skull. This head sculpt is just done really well. I just really like that color green. It looks very nice. And when you open up, you do get that inner jaw, but you can't bring it out. It is stuck very far back in there. I've tried taking some pliers and trying to get it out a little bit, but yeah, it just won't come, and I don't want to break this figure. As you can see, the inside of the mouth is sculpted really nicely, and even the inner jaw there has some blood on it, but you really can't tell much because it is stuck back in there, which is unfortunate. The other alien that I have, the Ultimate Big Chap, which I will be reviewing sometime soon, the inner jaw on it is very loose. And I didn't like that at first, but I prefer it being loose to being stuck back in there and not able to use it at all. So yeah, that does bum me out. That's one of the bummers with this figure. And all of the exoskeleton looks very nice. It's got a lot of sculpt detail to it. And it's cast in this grayish black color, and the white is painted over top of it. And it looks really nice because all of the details are brought out very nicely, as you can see. And in some areas it has more of a glossy finish, like right here on the torso, the arms, and the legs, making it look a little slimy. And I really like how that looks. I don't know if that was intentional or not. I'm going to be honest, I don't know if that's intentional or not, but it looks good either way, even if it was an accident. On the double jointed elbows right here, you can see that they actually painted that whitish color over top of it, and it is chipping. The bottom right here is just about chipped off all the way, and the top on this side has chipped off all the way. But it really doesn't bother me because it really doesn't look that bad, you know. It's not really noticeable. When it's chipping off, it's noticeable, but when it's gone, it's not. This figure also has odd hips. As you can see, there's the pin for the right hip, and the left hip doesn't have one at all. I even thought maybe it was backwards, but nope, none on the back, or none on the front, and none on the back. So I don't know if they just mismatched the hips or what. But yeah, this has one where you can see the pin and one where you can't. It doesn't bother me, but it is kind of odd. You do get green fingernails painted on there, which look really nice. This one has a little bit of extra plastic to it. He has a little bit of an overgrown fingernail there. The tail is done with a heavy bendy wire, and you can bend it to however you want it. And on the end of the tail there, you get some nice blood. It's covered in blood, and you can see the blood's dripping down its tail. And that looks really nice. The end of it doesn't have any bendy wire in it. It's just kind of loose, so you really can't bend this part. But the lower portion you can. It is a very heavy bendy wire, so you will have to use 2 hands to do that. You know, you don't want to break it or rip the tail off, because these figures can be a little bit fragile. But the way it is meant to go is like this, because as you can see, the tail will line up right there with the spine. So that is actually the way it's supposed to go, but it can swivel all the way around, and with the bendy wire, you can get it bending into whatever position you want to. I kind of bend mine so it'll support him standing up, but you know, you can do whatever you want with it. And finally, you get some green toenails painted on there, and that looks very nice. Now, with the articulation, one big gripe of mine is it just has swivel ankles. You won't get any sort of ankle rocker. That would help it to stand just a little bit, but it really just kind of stays like that. You really can't get it doing anything else. So, let's go ahead and go over the articulation now. Since this figure is kind of large, I'm trying to kind of lower it so you can see it better and not be cut off from my camera. So now, let's go ahead and go over the Joker Xenomorph's articulation. It has a swivel head that can move back just slightly. It can look down all the way, and it can move its head side to side. You won't get much articulation moving up. Maybe if you forced it, you could, but like I said, I'm not going to force it and break it. But it can move side to side. You do get this hinge at the jaw, where you can get its mouth opening and closing. And it's supposed to have articulation there in the inner jaw, but like I said, I cannot get any articulation out of that at all. It has ball-jointed shoulders that can move out all of the way. It has double-jointed elbows that can bend in all the way. Swivel thrust that can move side to side, and up and down. And it also has swivel at the fingers right here, so you can get the fingers moving back and forth. It has a ball-jointed diaphragm that can move back just slightly and forward slightly. It's mainly so you can move it side to side. So you can mainly just move it side to side. It has ball-jointed hips that can move out that far. The hip armor right here does hinder that just a little bit. So you can only really get it moving out that far. Again, you could push it to the limits, but I'm not going to try that. I don't want to break it on camera. That would be really bad. You get swivel at the hips as well as the ball jointed hips. You get swivel at the thigh, not hips. You get the ball jointed hips and swivel down here at the thigh. You get double jointed knees that can bend in all the way, or you can have it standing straight up like that. So if you wanted to get it standing up kind of straight, you could if you wanted to. It has articulation right here. I forget the name of this. If you know, leave a comment down below and tell me. I had it on the tip of my tongue and I've completely forgotten what this joint's called. But it can move in all the way and it can move back all the way. The ankles, I think they're supposed to be ball jointed, but you don't get any sort of really good articulation out of it. It can just really swivel side to side and that's it. And then you get some toe articulation that can move down just a little bit and up all the way. So yeah, this is pretty well articulated, except for right there in the ankles. If I could change one thing, it would definitely be that ankle articulation, because it could have been better. So there, Batman is next to the Xenomorph Joker figure. And this thing was a nightmare to get standing a second time. So that's another complaint with it, is getting this pose can be a little bit tricky. And it's mainly because of those ankles, because if you're looking at the feet, they're kind of angled out because they don't have a rocker. So this isn't the greatest pose, but I just put it in this, that way it could stand. So, you know, at least it's standing now. So overall, I would highly recommend this pack. It is amazing. So that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.